Today's title is very interesting titles, Ghost and Spiritual World. In order to understand that these phenomena or these worlds, let's go over what we learned more elaborated, especially first session of this series, other dimensions. We dies. I hope everyone dies. After we came from infinite, one infinite, then we return to the one infinite. So first we go water life. In mother, water, or biologically evolving water, nearly 3 billion years. Then come out to the world of air life. Then after growing air life, that is repeating, biologically speaking, about 400 million years development, biological development after water on the land. And also grow as human beings, last evolved life on this earth. Then we go to the next life. World of vibration. Vibrational life. This is next life we go. Then after that, go furthermore bigger world. World of radiation. Radiational life. Or you may say light. Then furthermore, return to the infinite. Water life, air life is upon the earth. Vibrational life is also upon the earth, but at the same time cover entire this solar system as a unit of vibration, as a vibrational unit. Together with other planets, other millions of comets, we are flying 300 kilometers per second speed. So vibrational life has a much more wider domain space where we live in. Comparing water life, like mother's womb, water life, air life is much more trillion times bigger. Comparing air life, vibrational life world is trillions of big times bigger. Then, beyond these solar systems, furthermore, solar system is only one of millions of systems belonging to Milky Way galaxy, these particular galaxies. All galaxies as a unit is vibration also. And that is also the belonging to this vibrational world. But furthermore beyond, the light goes, like the world of light, the galaxy to galaxies, stars to stars, billions light year scope going on. This world, we will go eventually, and then furthermore, we go return to one infinite. This process you may call spiritual process, spiritualization process. While this process is physicalization. So-called spiritual world means covering this world, that world, that world. Covering all those three so-called spiritual world. But of course, physicalized world, like air, water, soil, physicalized world, including our bodies, are the part of, small part of vibration, radiation. So, in large sense, this physicalized world is also part of spiritual world. And this body is also spiritual beings. And all this. And this is also matter, materialized, physicalized matter, but as well as this is huge vibration inside, like millions, trillions atoms there. Right? And then electron, etc., running, right? This one. So this is spiritual beings also. And so everything, you may say, spiritual being, spiritual manifestation. But usually we make physicalized entity versus spiritual phenomena, right? Usually we call. So in that sense, this forthcoming world are so-called spiritual world. Then, this air life is more like Earth. Okay? Then this vibrational world is like solar system. Galaxies. This world is more like space. Between galaxies. And may say universe itself. This world is infinite. In Oriental world, Oriental countries, spiritual world, we divide into three categories also. First category, this they call Shinkai. God world, or the world of universal spirit, or permanent spirit, Shinkai, or divine spirit. Next one, called Reikai. This is very complicated letter. Sphere of spirit, spiritual world, Reikai. Next, we call Yukai. Yukai. Astral sphere, sphere of astral vibration or astral manifestation. That Yukai include this air world also. Air world also. Reikai, Shinkai. They therefore divide the spirits, stage of spirit, three divisions. And when we die, this way, actually formal death, formal death this way. Present day is this way it dies. When we die from the earth using centrifugal force, go our spirit, go up. Spirit. One. This way, if we die, our spirit goes. If this birth is difficult, then we must do this way. This way. As if other bodies rise within this body. These spiritual bodies are consciousness center. Something like this bodies. Vibration. Something like this. When Thank you. This so-called chakra, energy center, this so-called meridians, energy stream. And then with that aura going on together. So illuminated, right? An energy stream going, that means spiritual force, you may say. And there goes. Consciousness is here. Still consciousness is here. When we are in flesh, this together because we eat the mouth. So we create along these spiritual streams, we create muscle system, bone systems, nervous system, this and that. So that is physicalized, appear. Right? But when we die, these body factors, like minerals and various elements, return to the world of elements, which is soil, water, air. And then we, by this body of the force, we leave our body. Your consciousness naturally go together with this. And so after dies, for a while this is attaching, but soon separate, attaching to here, this center. This center. But for detach this. And then goes float. Meanwhile, this body is very flexible bodies. By just small, this goes very flexible bodies. This is not matter, not material, not matter. This is like force of heaven and earth force, like more astral force. So we cannot see it. If we touch or pass through our hand. And our senses, human senses, which relate with like nervous system, which is materialized, physicalized systems, cannot identify this. This body is when baby time, right? Baby time, from the mother's womb start to grow, right? Mother's womb start to grow. Like that spiralic way, right? And then becoming, right, like babies. Then becoming more and more growing, right? I told that. In other words, and then with the parts, right? In other words, this earth is, if we see from the side of spiritual world, right? Each planet, or including this earth, is the place of spiritual manufacturing factory. In other words, when physicalized in the form of human beings or in the form of various animals or plants, so forth, evolve it and become like this, and then next go this way, next life. That means if we see from that world to this planet, that is, they are producing the spirits, constantly producing spirit on the planet. Because planet is present day universe, as science already knows, is expanding universe. Actually expand spiralically, okay? Spiralically expand, but expanding universe. So, while expanding, here and there, the spiralized galaxy goes, okay? Galaxy. And these galaxies create furthermore smaller spirals within it, more and more condensed solar systems, millions of solar systems in each galaxy. And then each solar system has some planets, comets and planets, more and more condensed. Okay? That means spiritual force in the form of planets more condensed. Right? Spiritual force is more condensed in the form of planets. And the planets rotate. So, planets rotate. This is the claim, right? So this is something like spiritual body, right? Then, and vibrating, right? Constantly, right? This one, highly energized spiritual force, together with rotation, centrifugality, that means this spiritual force go outside, as if sun going on, right? Going on. Okay? Using that force, this is spiritual force, right? Cultivate this, right? Creating spirits upon this earth, this planet. Then that created spirits go spiritual world, which is far bigger, including millions of planets, far bigger spiritual world, acts as conscious unit of consciousness. So, this world, suppose, human world, if they are destroying each other, killing each other, means the killing the spiritual production, peaceful, destroying peaceful spiritual productions. Also destroying peaceful natural spiritual growth. Naturally, that will influence to the next spiritual world, naturally. And so through this production, spiritual production, man and woman's love of producing children, etc. is. Man is spiritualized by heaven's force, this force. Woman is spiritualized this force. And within the woman, that seeds of spirit grow. And after birth, continuously grow and mature as spiritual entity. And then, after that growth, maturity finish, then begin to the next world, so-called real spiritual world goes. Okay? That is orientation, orientation of life on the planet. All other animals, etc., have also spirit, but they were low-grade spirit, and they were constantly evolving towards this way, this one. Constantly evolving towards standing up, spirit. Then be born to the spiritual world. More real spiritual, more towards this way goes. And however, therefore, the order of universe are always try to guard the spirit production and spiritual growth and the consciousness growth, and go towards that way constantly. But when human race or human spirits upon the earth forgot it and can't understand it, then various chaos goes, growth of spirit can't go well. Naturally, this death itself don't go well. After that, spirit consciousness left our body, in next world, struggles, sufferings continues, of course. As if baby was born miscarriage or early birth, etc. Then in this air life, they came from water life, but struggles, unhappy, miserable life. Same things if person's spirit are not developed enough to be born next life, then struggles. And universe itself, the God's law, or you may say order of the universe itself, is always trying to secure and develop this natural smooth spiritual growth and natural smooth birth and death and spiritual life, etc. Return to its one, eventually. But that means from this course, This is materializing universe, okay? Appearing materials. Then from there, return to the one. Return. Spiritual world become return one. Okay? This cause is the cause of materializing and physicalizing. That means that is the spiritualized. So each planet is the creating spirits and growing, then return. Then furthermore again creating, return, creating. But time has come now. By now, even though killing goes, even though battlefield goes, even though sickness goes, still trying to secure spirits, even though distorted or even though unhappy, even though delusioned spirit, right? Still in this yukai or air life, part of spirit, the vibrational world, in the form of ghost, in the form of astral bodies, it's still trying to keep it evolving. Reincarnation goes and evolving constantly, eventually go this world and that world. But because of the human forgottenness of this spirituality so great, so time began to destroy spirits. In other words, not caring, not growing spirits, destroying it, burnt away, destroy that spirit. Unless quality are good enough. To that extent, spiritual quality became worse, bad. Suppose if some baby is born, we try to care it, regardless baby quality is good or bad. But many cases can't take care anymore because so much bad quality of babies. We cannot take care. Same things. Then if cannot take care, then we have to, that baby must die, must return to soil and so forth again. Same things. From the view of spiritual world, the spirits which are growing upon the earth, that one of them is we ourselves. Okay? They, if spirit are not enough to be keeping on this planet, then before, without going spiritual world, destroy it. That's begun. That's begun in two ways now. Two ways. One way is by intensive nuclear energies, war, and that delete natural process of birth of our spirit to the next life. If battlefield is shot, bullet, etc., still, yes, that is unnatural death. That means unnatural birth to the next world, but still, the spirit's work kept, evolved, kept, and reincarnated. But delete that process, and by instantaneous destroys spirits. That is, then spirit change into not like these bodies, not like that. Spirit change into wave. That means know this world, even know this world. And other way is these spirits make this spirit fade away, fade out. In other words, spiritual force fade away, disappears. That began, that we call lack of immune abilities, like AIDS, etc., is that type. Fade away and diminish this power, spiritual power, spirit. Perhaps you read in Bibles, Jesus teaching whatever. Toward the end of the world, the soul or spirit, whatever, will be harvest time comes. Harvest time comes, and then bad quality of soul or spirit will be thrown in the Gehenna, the fire of Gehenna, etc. Bundle. That's time now began. Either destroying spirits or spirits itself faded away. Of course, people who still keeping up, although sickness here and there goes, still keeping up its strength and its spirituality or consciousness, or crowded but fairly clear, still clear thinking, judgment, are being kept and continue, same process going with this. Now AIDS, for example, 10,000 AIDS people. Okay? Acute. 100,000 is chronic case. 1 million virus carrier in this country. Spread in 5 years, 20 million. In 8-9 years, total American populations. 7-8 years, 8-9 years. This is 5 years. Every year doubling. What kind of death? Faded away. Body is latent. Not only body, spirit itself faded away. That kind of death. Instead, go. The body become latent, and spirit, energies, consciousness faded away. That although began to produce spirits now fade away. Growing spirits then fade out. They can't grow, mature, to be born to the next spiritual world, to be brought up to the next spiritual world. Cannot grow. That is similar type of troubles will more appear, more and more. And so, like macrobiotic education movement, which is the taking care, re-establish its natural immune abilities, vitalities, clearness of thinking, is actually spiritual salvation movement. Education for the salvation of spirits on this planet. And make smooth, let them keep growing and make smooth transition to the next spiritual world through natural death. That is that kind of spiritual education was not there for past thousands of years. Because now time is so intense. Therefore came that method of salvation of spirits. That equal, of course, salvation of mankind on this planet. Then, but many people do not know yet, even macrobiotic people do not know how one deep meanings has macrobiotic educations. They eat brown rice or dark bread, becoming food maniac. And its real meanings. Why we are spreading macrobiotic? Why we are telling that eat well, etc. They cannot still understand. So many people. I hope really that will be understood by everyone who practice macrobiotics. Briefly speaking, in order to save all spirits on this planet in order to make continuous growth of spirit and smooth transition to the next spiritual world, to secure next spiritual life happy, macrobiotic came to save all spirits on the planet. That is macrobiotics. Okay? And then, when you go, actual going is to be time at the time when you are fully matured as consciousness. Fully mature. That means this can perceive from infinite vibrations, waves from the infinite, waves, so forth, and can dispatch towards infinite, as well as this infinitesimal world where he is on the planet, which require very fine, high grade of vibration quality, consciousness. When that is done, accomplished, he no longer thinks this planet is his attached world. He knows this planet is transitory life. And he knows now whole universe is his home. And he knows beyond this physicalized universe, which science can detect, beyond that and behind that, so-called spiritual universe is there. And physicalized one is only visible one, but spiritual world is there. And he knows his future is in that spiritual world, continue to play, continue to evolve, and return to his own home country. One, infinite. Dissolving all consciousness. Two, but and at that time, could be 70 years old, could be 120 years old, could be 90 years old. And he has ample enough experience this human life, ample enough success and failures, affairs, many difficulties, many happy things, this and that, many sickness, many injuries, accident, war, family death, this and that, many things experience. And consciousness develop more and more understanding of life, understanding universe, understanding spirit. Then attachment to certain things, certain matter, certain events, certain one, becoming less and less and less and less. And he thinks, he is actually permanent beings, though manifested appearance change constantly from this form, that form, this, that, etc. And his consciousness is nothing but consciousness of universe. Then he knows this earth is now small. So from this small house, I will go to the next big place to play. So he decides, I will die next month, I'll die next year, and say goodbye to everyone, and he passed away. Okay? That death or birth to the next world is spiritual transition, okay, to the next life. But that has not been done among so many millions of people. Okay? And when that is done, okay, he goes this yukai, okay, this form, and go move. He experienced toward the bottom very bright, not dark, red light. That is the light of the center of the earth, this high energy. So he experienced underneath the dark red light, and energy field. And he told about he experienced far brighter light, far brighter. Okay? Tall. And toward that brighter light, he goes. That is, after he left his bodies, during 49 days, he experienced that. Meanwhile, he began to see that the sceneries, begin to see that spiritual countries. The spiritual meaning of senses, new senses begin to open. And there he sees many images, even villages, houses, mountains, skies, etc. As well as many people. There were the spirits. And they lived together for a while, and more goes higher and higher. These images and these experiences in the next spiritual world, first stage, is not actual sceneries, but he creates it by his own image. And he lives within that image. Then, from there, furthermore, he grew as his image, as his consciousness, spirit grew. Then image gradually changing and more higher. Eventually, this underneath light, dark light, all disappears. And up the above, bright light becoming more and more bright. Finally become the white, the purplish white light. And within that light, which universally goes to all directions, he is living, he knows he is living with many highly evolved spirits. That is something like angels, etc. And still he may see some mountains set in faded way. That means still he has some kinds of memories in his image, memories of the earth. But more and more happy life. And then more and more, and if he sees flower, beautiful flowers, beautiful palace, that means he's creating by his image there. And more, he become higher and higher. Those images also faded away more and more. And finally, he changed into that white, bright light itself. And go infinite, become one. And even that light disappears. The eventual last stage. Meanwhile, he experiences many happy things, happy sceneries, happy things. Because his consciousness is so high now. But, and also, while that is going on, he can choose himself, if he so wish, make him born to the planet or galaxy which he want to choose and which he want to live temporary next life. He can choose himself. But that is, if this is very good qualities. But 99.9% of modern people don't go that way. Because this spirit must get out from the bodies, because he made this body no more workable, no more nourishing the spirit. Sickness, cancers, this and that. And someone who eats chickens, eggs become arthritis. Spirit itself, consciousness itself becoming like chicken consciousness. And someone who eats plenty of meat, muscle tension, etc. goes like cow, tiger. Becoming consciousness, becoming like that. Someone eats sugars, Coca-Cola, etc., so forth, becoming very wild. Then consciousness become wild, spirit become wild. Yet they dies before, much before they are ready for natural birth to the next world. They have to die by accident, by sickness, by war, by that. So, unmatured, immature, distorted, low grade of consciousness, spirit, must go. Then, that naturally because next world is he himself imaged. So, what he imaged, the cursing people or revenging peoples or unhappy or miseries, pains, etc., these images he creates around him. That world he is struggling, living and struggling. If he's wild events he's seeing, and also he's participating in that wild events going, so-called hell. Hell. He creates hell himself. Hell. Hell is not existing at all in this entire universe. But hell is being created in his image. In his image, hell is created. Because he has such distorted consciousness. Cause is what they, direct cause is what they ate on this planet. Eat means, so plants, etc., that is taking in the energies, earth's energy, as well as heaven's energy, taking in. Depends on that quality, distorted consciousness goes. So, distorted image he creates. So, he struggles himself within that image. That we call hell. And among them, many spiritual consciousness cannot even go beyond their life, because their attachment, consciousness attachment, so big, so strong to what happened on this earth during their lifetime. And they, therefore, live and float in the air world, because that is part of vibrational world, but very heavy part, bottom part, without going bottom part. And that appears from time to time as a ghost. Ghost. So, appearance of ghost have certain conditions. One is, ghost has attachment. To a certain thing. Certain event or certain experience or certain matter or certain thing, attachment. That attachment prohibiting, because attachment so great that prohibit his other spiritual nature, abilities to see the brightness, to see his reality, his surroundings, his spiritual world. Therefore, even some spirit, ghost, think he is still alive in the air life as human beings. He didn't die. Still, some of them think that way too. That means attachment to the human life. Many attachments there, many kinds of attachment. Attachment to love or lovers, lover or lover, wife or husband or families. Sweetheart or whatever. Attachment to children, our own children, and offsprings. Attachment to some guilt, human guilt. Attachment to some material things. Including like money, clothes, cabinet, house, properties, or whatever. And attachment to social position, fame, dignities, etc. Attachment to human life purpose. Human life purpose. Okay? Human delusional purpose. Delusional purpose. Attachment to superstition. Various attachments there. Attachment to 28 flavor of ice cream too. Various attachments. Attachment to fear, attachment to memory, various attachments. So, actually, all these things should forget about when you die. This no concern next life. Next life is much bigger world of universe and much bright world. This world is dark. dark and small. This air life is half dark, half bright, night and day, bigger. Next world, far more big, bright. But because of attachment, that means heavy consciousness, he sees dark in that bright world. And he stays because of what this. Next world is, next spiritual world is, if you image it, that is reality. If you, this world is, even though you image it, it's not reality yet. Doesn't appear. When you image, then you have to, in order to appear that, you have to physicalize it. Physicalize it. Then appear. I like to steal someone's wife. If you think that this world still not appeared, thinking alone, unless you actually steal her. So while she and her husband eating together with you at coffee shop, he thinks, oh, she's pretty, I'd like to steal her. If you think husband don't notice yet. So court cannot say to you, you are guilty. But in that world, when you think, that appears immediately. That means image is reality. Image is reality. So he attaches, suppose some sweetheart, some human guilty conscious of what he did, or some attached. That means he's imaged. Right? So he can't, that is human world image. So he stays in the human world. He does not go there. He stays. Then because this is the vibrational unit, and this is undetectable by present day machine, scientific machine, also by human senses, which need media of flesh, body. Can't detect this, but we feel it. This thinking, the thinking of spirit, consciousness of spirit, which are attached to something, worry about something, or cursing something, we feel it because we ourselves have that spirit. Okay? So, if we meditate, making this spirit active, we make more cease, more slow down physical metabolism. Then we feel it. Something wrong. My father is worrying about this, etc. Feel it. There, from this world, remaining people needs prayer for them. Prayer. Consolation of their wandered attachment, and pray and release them from these attachments. However, if they are not attached, then by your thinking, by his thinking, you can communicate also very well. But you do not feel at that time, what's going on? I feel some strange, I feel some miserable, I feel something heavy. You don't feel those things. More like direct, happy connections by meditating, etc. So, problem together with attachment. When environment, condition of environment, ghost appears, environmental conditions. That is, suppose day and night, which time ghosts more appear? Night. Darkness. Suppose rainy, humid day or bright, sunny day, which ghost more appear? More humid. That means ghosts appear what time? Yang time, yin time. Yin time. Yin time. In environment. In. Place-wise, ghosts appear more bright chandelier, bright lights place, or dark graveyard. Which ghost appears more? more graveyard, right? More in graveyard. Not condition needed. That is, energy of the air doesn't move actively. Okay? Daytime is the actively move. Okay? Morning time, the energy going up, evaporation, etc. goes sunrise. Okay? But evening, the energy go down. Night, energy float. Okay? So becoming heavy. And becoming stillness. Those time appears. Okay? Why? That means the heaviness. Okay? Why? Because this is body of what? Yang or yin? More in body. Right? No in. More fragile, unidentifiable. So, thought and image, same thing. So, if humid environment become in, then this start to change a little more yang. Right? Then this start to becoming more together, right? And more comes appearing on the space. Right? And at that time, if your condition is, if it happened, you are there, and your condition is, what kind of condition requires? Very sensitive, very keen, and good, the feeling, perception is very keen. If you have that conditions, that goes to you, come on, see it. You can see, it's not necessary your friend can see. It may be, but many cases not. Because your perception and that relation doesn't make same way this and that. Her perception may be different. She might have eaten ice cream or chocolate pie that evening while you are eating miso soup. Then perception change. Different. So you may see it, but she may not see it. Or many other people don't see it, but you see it. Right? That kind. However, the seeing is not many people, very few, because special attachment, special environmental condition needed, and together with your perception. You have three factors. How attachment strong, what kind of environment. Third, your own perception. So, seeing is not so many, but 100 people may not see, but out of that, maybe 5%, 10% people, or maybe more, feel something. I feel weirdness, something strange, something I feel chilly. Feel it. Okay? For example, you get in old house, big house. You may be buying or whatever, I don't know. Then you see the living room, you see the kitchens, you see that, this. Second floor goes, you are seeing one by one, room to room. Then when you enter into one particular room, you feel strange, this room strange. Because that room more humid, darker than others, and that room might be used for someone few years ago, few months ago, self-committed suicide, or long period someone sleeping on bed, struggling with sickness. Okay. So when you come in, you feel chill feelings. Or their mother might happen. Then still there, ghost there, but cannot see feel it, many people. But some other people even don't feel it. Those people are also there. Because those people have no sensitivity in its perception. No sensitivity. Because they were eating more heavily steak, hamburger, this and that, etc. And thinking only material problems, this world, success, etc., etc., and thinking, oh, ghost nonsense, spirit nonsense. This and after death, we don't have such life. Of course. So he is very insensitive, very insensitive. Even insensitive, more insensitive than dogs, than birds. Have you noticed sometimes dog is watching or reacting to strange things which we cannot perceive? Suddenly, goes very frightening, etc. Dog, cats, birds, animals have also different perception than us. Some overlapping. Therefore, when we smile, they smile. When we sing, they sing. I don't know, I haven't heard sing yet, except birds singings. Any overlappings. But real perception is different. For example, our eyes can see the colors. Dog's eyes cannot see the colors, but can see much deeper shade. And so, what we cannot see, often they see. Or what we cannot feel, often they feel. Same way, someone can feel, can see more, but someone else cannot see, cannot feel. Then, these ghosts have someone like that, someone attached, someone like that, etc., etc. In the battlefield, also many ghosts. The battlefield, many ghosts, still battlings. Because while they are battlings, they were imaging, right? They are the enemies. This is ours. And killing enemies, battling us. Then dies. So consciousness, instead ready to death, to the next life, while fighting, consciousness dies. So that consciousness carries still fighting image. So continue to fight. He himself creating around him all battlefield. He images it and he fights. So like very fierce battlefield, like the Dunkirk, like Belgium and Dunkirk, right? And also like where? Pacific Ocean, like Saipan or Iwo Jima, Iwo Island, or Atz Island. Like Atz Island is like Aleutian, one of a small island, Aleutian. 2,000 Japanese soldiers totally destroyed, died. Because Japanese soldiers never surrender. So everyone was died. And last, several people committed suicide, killed. Anyway, these places, ghosts still fighting. Same is in the hospitals. hospitals. So many ghosts there. Hospitals. Same thing, so graveyards. So many ghosts are there. Same thing as I told, old house, this and that. Ghosts there. Then, these ghosts give naturally various type of influence to the living people. First, giving general heavy, depressive, unhappy feelings, weird feelings. But second, these ghosts give influence his image, his thinkings to the person. He himself, right? So that person become like that, okay? Become thinking that way. And in other words, okay, suppose some ghost wants to revenge it. Then, you know the story of Hamlet, okay? Hamlet's father wants to revenge it. However, Hamlet's father, because he is now spirit, so cannot revenge physically in this human life. Okay? So he appears and he tells his son Hamlet. Hamlet consciousness spirit is influenced by that. Then Hamlet acts as revenger, kill uncle. Right? Like that way, ghost attachment influence living person's consciousness and act as if he is he or he is agent of he. And in some case, even not using that way, using more becoming fusion, his consciousness, living person's consciousness, that become more fusion. Living person's consciousness become more fusion. Then at that time, personality change. This fusion is because we have body, my body separates you, so it's difficult to understand. Even couple, right? Loving man, woman, or couple, they sleep together, connect together, still body separate, so separation comes. Not huge. But in the spiritual world, this world, also in this yukai, as I told you, as a process, like they live, depends on their images, like villages, mountains, or this, that, those life. Around those lifetime, they have also marriage, if you want marriage. Marriage can take place two ways. Suppose there's a spirit, another spirit, they love, they synchronize each other, and we really understand we don't want to live separated, so let's live together. Another marriage is fusion. One is come in and fuse it. then personality of spirit become neutral, just between. Neutral. Same things can take place between ghost and this spirit. Fusion. Then suddenly I change strange one. Like story of Jekyll and Hyde. A strange sudden change. And then they are needed like exorcism, etc. That kind of special method needed to drive out this. He's the one making separation. These spiritual exercises, in the future, the spiritual seminars, one by one, I will be glad to teach you. But in the Beckett mountain, as step-by-step spiritual training seminar goes. At any rate, ghosts, because of ghosts, suppose he died by cancer, struggling. He is still struggling in there. Then his struggles in his supposed bedrooms, still he is there struggling. Although his body was buried, but spirit is still there and struggling. Suppose if you are living in that room, you affected it, and you become also rapidly more cancer easily. Or while you are sleeping in that room, nightmare comes, and in that dream, you see that person is struggling in your bed or in your room about cancer, about just can't sleep. If someone, for example, hung and died in that house, and particularly in that room, then you don't know 2 years later, and then you are invited to that house and you are asked, please sleep in this room. You don't know anything. You think, oh, this room wonderful. And you start to sleep. Then there some strange woman coming up to you. And sometimes we give heavy pressures, or sometimes tell you, I hung in this room, or sometimes sitting there or standing and watching you, or act again exactly same way, hanging. While you are sleeping, you can't move your body. Paralyzed. And seeing that, that kind of thing happens. Quite all. What we have to know is our human life is not the end at all. Everyone is spirit, growing spirit, and around everyone, the spiritual world there. And that we have to know very clearly. And even many people carry spirits also. Many people carry. Probably when you read the George Osawa's books, 3-4 cases which he also experienced like you there. One experience was when he left Japan, went to India. That is after end of war. He and Lima were going in the boat. named Sadhana. That boat crossing the eastern coast of China, going towards Vietnam. In the midnight, he was still in his cabins writing and reading books, so forth. And then he suddenly know, oh yes, around here, battles were there, and also the many boats, ships sank. So he felt he should think about them. So he went on the deck, came up on the deck. And he was, in meditative way, he was thinking about them and what he is going to do for the world is nothing but bringing peace. That's night. Then suddenly, around the boat, he could see all ocean waves that started to come up. And there are hundreds of spirits were coming to the boat. And they touch the boat and tapping, tappings. Then strange, that boat Sadhana, a big ship, together with like stopped. And there, in the engine room, etc., they don't know why boat stopped. So the fruit goes, try to move it, but boat stopped. Meanwhile, George is hearing that, but no one hears. And about 10 minutes that goes, boat don't move. Then began, those spirits started to leave. And meanwhile, George was thinking about spirit and about what he should do for the world, etc. Spirits start to move. And one more left, and they were also disappeared in the dark oceans. Then boat started to move. And again, began to move. Big ship. When I was 6 years old, I was very cute. And my father was an educator, a school teacher. So my family, father's family, lived very northern part of Japan. Meanwhile, father's father and relatives were living more southern part of Japan, where Kushi families traditionally 1,000 years living there. And suddenly father felt strange. Looked at the window. Then black cloud, that is omen. Quite often people tell the bad omen. Black clouds, that about several black clouds cross, back and forth, back and forth. And he saw on the desk, big spider, another omen, big spider crawling. He felt strange. At the same time, he felt my father died. But his father, my grandfather. 2 hours later, he received telegrams. Father passed away. So he told his school and he prepared to take a trip to meet the funerals. And at that time, mother was also the school teacher. And so she couldn't join. It took about 2.5 days preparations. And so he took me. And from north to south, and taking trains, at that time no airplane. And then from Osaka take a boat. So full 2 days takes. They were waiting. His family, relatives were waiting our arrivals. And we arrived. Then everyone gathered, and for just as soon as we arrived, they started to funeral, so they were all prepared, and many people, relatives or many friends were there. And their cafe, that a sitting cafe, and grandfather within it. Of course, I didn't know grandfather, actually, in person. Although I saw the many times pictures. And as soon as we arrived, they guided us. And there, they took out cover to the last farewell. Father, and saw last dead face. He was clad, all surrounded clothes, that cotton and so forth, within the coffin, pale white face. Next, I saw him. Then elder relative told me, give water. That is the Oriental customs, to give the water. Because dying time, very thirsty. So brought this kind of small dish, small water. There are some cotton, like rice paper type of cotton. So I put that, gave grandfather's lips wet. That moment, from his nose, dead body, but 5 days ago, very red blood came out. I didn't shake, just touch here by water. Then came out. And that white cloth, red cloth. And then standing elders, they started to cry. Oh, he knows, he was so happy, he knows. And cry. I didn't know, 6 years old, cute boy. But anyway, and then about 10-15 minutes later, covered or nailed, and the funeral procession began. Afterwards, as I grew, I really understood that grandfather's spirit awaiting, and he wanted to show something, his feeling, his happiness or whatever. So he did show that kind of things. Supposed to be by then, all blood is coagulated, to be coagulated, medically speaking, but not red blood. When I was 16 years old in the shrine, before that, about after 12 years old, I started to eat more like fruits, etc. Together with that, more spiritually interested. I didn't know the words of spirit. I didn't know anything, those metaphysical concept or words. But I was very much attracted to the spiritual problems. At that time, of course, I was a high school boy. Grammar school time, I was very active. I was champion of baseball. I was champion of the basketball. I was skiing. I was learning the fencing, right? The swordship, right? Like samurais. 8 years I learned. Right? And so many things I was doing. But as soon as I entered high school, started to become more and more disinterested, and more interested very quickly for spiritual problems. So while my schoolmates praying, I was alone going shrines every week. Sometimes after school, before going back home, sometimes very early morning, get up alone and went to the shrines. And playing there, sitting. I didn't know how to play. 16 years old boy. And in the shrines, there, sitting and meditating and bowing. I don't know what I was doing myself. Right? No particular purpose, but something couldn't help to stop it going. And while time passed, our schoolmates thought I am strange. Michio is very nice boy, but he is something special. He doesn't play with us. He doesn't go together with us. As soon as school work finish, somewhere he go alone, and he doesn't join us. And really, I was becoming more and more different from all students. One day, one morning, early morning, I got up home, went to that shrine. Still, sun was not rising, and sitting, and in the shrines, still dim dark, dawn began. There, then, suddenly while after 10-20 minutes sitting, and suddenly began gold lights began. And all enveloped me, and all shrines. Of course, you can't see the shrine at that time by this light going. I was half open eyes, half unconscious, half conscious within that light of the goldness. I don't know, I don't know what happens, but full of light, full everywhere. I was moving everywhere. And I didn't know deep inside, this universe is light, and I am light, and everything is light. And then, I don't know again how long does it take, gradually that light started to dim. Then at that time, from the depths of shrines, some white gold type of something like ball or human body, half body or whatever, like the white gold type of thing, and came to me around here, then somewhere I felt became one. And together with that, all gold lights became demand. And finally disappears. I thought strange. But anyway, I bought and started to go down from the stair, came out to the front of the shrine and stepped down, then again began. Trees, stones, various forests nearby, everywhere gold and silver color. So I stood on the staircase and watching. And I didn't know, tree has a spirit, stone has a spirit, cloud has a spirit. And together with that, sun started to rise. Sun has a spirit. Everything has a spirit. And everything is breathing and breathing out. And everything is alive. And the whole universe is nothing but light. And I could understand it. Then gradually disappears. Something like mist or fog started to become clear. Then sun became more clear. Then birds, etc., become clear. So I started to down and came back to home, walking about 15 minutes or 20 minutes, something like, with childhood. Since then, of course, repeated, of course, I went. Then every time if I wanted to see them arise, if you don't want particularly, don't desire that way, then normal. That shrine is nearby shrine in the park. They call Kyoto, city of Kyoto, and enshrined two spirits. That two spirits one is very famous and the scholar who lived about 400 years ago, 300 years ago. His name is Atsutane Hirata. Hirata is family name. Hirata Atsutane. He is a very great scholar of the spiritual world. And another spirit enshrined, Shinyen Sato Shinyen. But again, great personality. Family name is Sato. Again, about same time he lived. That spirit, that person was great scholar and leader, agriculture and food, and also the health. When I was 6 years old, of course I didn't know their names. I didn't know their achievement. But because shrine is nearby and so forth, so I was going every day. Afterwards, I met Jojo Osawa and also that started to interest peace problem, etc., so forth, and began various kinds of teaching, etc. For this period, really I have been doing as they did, a great interest in spiritual world, at the same time, great interest in food and health problems. And nothing but I feel their spirit are guarding together with me. And whenever something, confusion or something happens, then I meditate just few minutes, even on bed, even on toilet, and I think of them, then comes. Again, strength comes. There are many other the experience. But some other time, I like to tell a very interesting, strange experience also, which in my case, always some kind of encouragement for the people, for the societies, etc. Always like that, those spiritual experience or ghost type of experience. Sometimes when I receive some visitors, like sick friends, sometimes sick friends tell us. Some of them, they came by introduction of other friends. Some of them, they didn't know by books. Some of them, they learned microbiology in some other centers. But some of them come to see me because they were told in their dream, told by some father, their father, or told by previous Roman Pope, or told by the Jesus Christ, told by that, etc. It's very interesting. So, to me and for you, I think you can understand this world, physicalized world, and the spiritual world, that is unphysicalized world, are actually one word, same. In other words, two types of spirits are living, and we are sharing one type together. And between us, between them, all can have communications, can have perceiving, can have talking, can have feeling, etc. If our condition is clean and proper. Therefore, as we are helping sick people or these people or weak people and encouraging, same things, the people or the spirits we are there, if they were sufferings, they were in confusion, then we can console them, we can encourage them, we can make them develop. That you can do it. Just the way to do, you have to know. Because that way is usually we do use physical way to help our physicalized spirits, our friends, our human brothers, sisters. But for them, we cannot use the same method. We should use our thinkings, our prayers, thinkings, consciousness. Love manifested in thought. We must use that. Right? And so we need this refinement to deal with that. And also, I like to recommend, if your father or nearby the father or mother or husband, whoever died, please make small shrines in your house. Put there grains. Put there water. Put there salt, sea salt. All natural, all natural. And then put there maybe picture of your father or person. If you don't have, name is okay, name. And pray, meditate. You may put flower, you may put incense, but that is not necessary, not absolutely needed. But You can do this much absolutely needed. And make yourself clean and clear. And in other words, from you first must wipe out confusion. Pray for them. And then you start to meditate for him and you start to pray for him. In thinking. You may talk English, French, Latin, Esperanto. In any language, fine. It's vibration and your thinking vibration making their spirit, which is vibration, that synchronize and making them more consoled, more pacified, and more spirited up. If you do think father struggle died, or mother struggle died, or your husband, etc., then do regularly this. I really like to have practice. You practice that. Instead, just leave alone. And simply, before we close, just simply I'd like to have you know to make you clear spiritually, because many of you carrying ghost and spirit, as well as good one, like guardian spirit, right? The right side, more mother or female, mother's ancestor, mother's ancestor, their ghost, or you may say their thought. This side you carry father's ancestor, or your brother and their thought. If your husband appears father's side, if your wife appears this side, if your brother appears this side, if your sister appears this side, if your son, if your son appears this way, if your girl appears this way. For example, when you do abortion, then appear around waist. If girl appears this, boy appears that, around the waist. If after delivered, then died, then appear here or shoulder. And together with your thinking, suppose certain thinking by like macaroni type thinking, ice cream thinking, whatever, right? There the vibration goes, right? And this and that all go intermingled. What should be clarified that, as well as your thinking clarified. Your quality of vibration of the body, right? Spirit, this, to be clarified. There's a chakra over there, right? To be clarified. So this also clarified. For that, do this. And for you and for them, at the same times, you do this type of chanting, you do this, okay? Thenひふみよいむなやことthis chakra line. Okay. This is repeated. This HI is breathing up. Fumi oi munaya koto Okay, let's do 5 times. Before you do it, you clarify your around here the vibration by clapping the hand. Usually twice, right? Twice. And then this side, then front, this side, front, this side, front, side, front. Fine. 5 times we do. Okay, 5 times. Okay, right? Then comes the last here, right? Then you hold this way, then begin this chanting 5 times. Okay? Last come, right? At that time, last chanting, last sound come 5 times later. Then long way. 5 times this sound. At the end, do. Okay? Okay? So let's do that. Hold yourself straight. Stretch yourself 1, 2, 3, 4. Once more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Let's hand here. Let's make ourselves down. In order to do that, let's make 3 times sound, right? To make ourselves quiet. It's breathing. Now hold your hand up 2 times. Now once more. Now left, front, right, front, left, front, front, left, front, right. Once more. Right, front, right, front. Then hold the player's position, hand. Now then let's begin that. Actually closing eyes better, but today is open. Okay? And see that. It's breathing. Five times M sound. Then 20 seconds silence as it is. Then return your hand on your lap. And you can meditate about spirit, or your spirit, or their spirit, their peace. Okay? That's way you do. Okay? Then your spirit become high and clean, and you can make their spirits also high and clean. Okay? Please. Let's please practice that.